Good morning and welcome to For Fantasy's Sake, the Quad City's first and only fantasy football show. I am your host, Doug Green.
It's never a good start when Doug forgets his own name.
I was trying to think of something funny on the fly and it didn't work. All right. He's DJ. He's Michael. Chris says he has something about family and Christmas this week, so he's not here. So you're just stuck with the three good-looking ones. Well, two good-looking ones and Deej.
Where'd you going to point me out as that outside man there?
No, not you. All right, Donald, where are we at in the DFS sign-up?
Last I looked, we still need 10 people to enter.
Dang.
I did learn last week. Apparently, it allowed us to run with 19, so that was nice. But yeah, last I looked, we were at 10 of 20. I did send out the invite kind of late this week, kind of slow on the draw this week. So we have 10. But here, the good news is you have a 50% shot at finishing in the top 5 if only 10 people join. So you have 50% shot at getting a raffle entry.
I'm starting to realize I don't think I'm in it right now. I think I accidentally entered my the $3 one I do every week twice.
No, you're in ours.
I am? Okay.
You are. Huh. Yeah, so don't forget if you're listening to the show, don't forget to join the old DraftKings contest. I think we've got a ton of raffle entries already, so 2 weeks, the Wednesday show, right after week 16 will pop up on a Wednesday right before Christmas, or no, right after Christmas, right before New Year's, and figure out who's going to win an autographed memorabilia.
Not even autographed by us, by a real person.
Yeah, by a real person that people actually care about.
Yeah.
That's fancy.
Right. So it is playoffs, baby.
Playoffs.
That's like all we have for this segment. I would just us just saying playoffs for the next 13 minutes. So I'm generally a believer at this time of year for setting your lamps in dance with the one that brought you. Whether in riding the hot hand as opposed to if my stud is kind of cold and I've got a guy who's riding a hot streak, I will start him over my early round stud. What is your opinion on that philosophy at this time of the year?
I kind of tend to agree with you. As we know, I got bit by not starting my studs in one season that we just choose not to talk about. Josh Freeman season. But somebody had tweeted something that was interesting, and Bonnie had reiterated it about how Des Bryant was warming up before he was ruled inactive or before he got the COVID and everything like that. So there is some validity to starting the guys in the early games if you can, because things do change if you're on a coin flip. Obviously, if it's do I start Deontay Johnson or Malcolm Perry, I'm not saying, oh yeah, start Malcolm Perry because he plays at noon and Deontay Johnson plays at 7. But if it's a coin flip thing, maybe start the guy who plays earlier, and I've tended to shy away a little bit from going the other way. I would rather have a guy playing on Sunday than a guy playing on Thursday. But imagine all the people who had a decision between Cam Akers and Myles Gaskin, and they started Myles Gaskin, and now, you're hoping that you pick the right Dolphin who's going to get the touches out of the backfield, because who knows who that's going to be.
I don't even think there's a right answer to that, honestly, but I'm sure we'll touch into that. Players to get there, I tend to lean stick with my cars. I mean, it's a tried and true thing where you, between the respect notion of it and just they've done it before, I'm not going to overthink it. But situations do change. Like Deshaun Watson is a player that got people championships. Now he's going against Chicago. He has no Brandon Cooks, most likely, as of this morning. He's not expected to suit up. Will Fuller's out. I'm not playing Deshaun Watson anywhere. if I can help it, and I'll look to the wire. I'll stream Kirk Cousins. Situations change. On the whole, I'd like to stick with my stars, but there's a lot of worlds where maybe it's overthinking, but I just don't want to play some of my guys.
They pointed out something interesting on ESPN this morning. You've got Deshaun Watson, who plays the Bears this week. Then you have Josh Allen, who plays the Steelers, and you have Kyler Murray, who hasn't been very good. And all three of those quarterbacks likely got you in a position where you're playing this week, and all three of them, are guys that you actually are kind of thinking before locking your lineup this week.
I think those are two great examples of Kyler Murray and Josh Allen. The Giants are they're not a cakewalk of a matchup for Kyler Murray. So those, I think, are two pretty tough matchups, especially for Josh Allen. And I think that's where I stick with my guys. I say, listen, you got me here. I'm not going to go to the wire. You guys have established a pretty nice floor. At the very least, I can count on that. And we've seen what they can do. And Josh Allen looked lights out last week. Kyler, not so much. But, 3 weeks removed for the shoulder. Maybe this is the time. He just stopped running. Hopefully he goes back to that. But.
Yeah, I saw another interesting thing that DeAndre Hopkins has run like 80% of his 80% of his routes have been 7 yards or fewer the last 3 weeks, and maybe that kind of contributes to why Kyler's not been putting up these huge games, because you've had no fits because of the COVID, and now you're one of the best options in the entire game is running 10-yard outs every play. And maybe get DeAndre, I don't know if this is play calling. I don't know if this is, Hopkins has been a little nicked up, so I don't know, what plays into it. Hopkins earlier this week didn't practice, but that's one of those. I think Hopkins has a big history of not practicing and then playing. At this point with these veteran receivers, I'm not worried unless his name is Julio Jones. I'm not really concerned about not practicing on a Wednesday. As long as you get eliminated on Friday, I think that's what you look like out of your veteran receivers. And I don't know how much our viewers or even you guys pay attention. Sometimes limited practice means they put on a uniform and rode a bike for 5 minutes and then ran 3 routes, and that's a limited practice. So,
yeah, the Hopkins route tree. I know, courtesy of Andy Holloway on Twitter. I saw people call it a route tree. This is more like a route push. It's so weird how they use DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know why. He's not going deep. Christian Kirk is not getting the deep balls that we all thought he would as well. It's an air raid offense that isn't throwing deep. It's kind of like a spread where they're trying to just get it out. But I'm not really sure why they're doing that. It's something I feel like they'll fix in 2021 when they go back and look at this. But as of now, I don't get it. I don't. And Hopkins versus Bradbury will be a really great matchup this week for sure.
Well, if you think about it, you take away the Hail Mary against Buffalo, and you take away the 4-yard touchdown last week against Ramsey, and you're looking at Hopkins being a wide receiver 3 over the last 5 weeks, and that's crazy. And this is a guy that we're expecting to be one of the catalysts to winning us a championship. And do I think, I think that he's going to come up big in the next couple of weeks. I think that things have just been weird, but and like I said, could be between the injury to Kyler and the injury to Hopkins. But I'm by no means suggesting not playing DeAndre Hopkins this week or going forward. It's just something that makes you say, huh?
Yeah, it's been a string of unfortunate matchups. From week 9, he had Xavier Howard. Week 10, Tre'Davious White. Week 11 was Seattle, so that's fine. Then Stephon Gilmore, Jalen Ramsey, Bradbury this week, Darius Slay next week. It hasn't been smooth sailing for him.
Yeah, but you kind of expect big guy, your guys to kind of. He's not even having those games where he catches, 8 passes for 80 yards. He's kind of like I said, you take away a 4-yard touchdown last week, and he really did nothing. So
Yeah, he was a player I was worried about before the season. I think one of my bold predictions was that he would finish outside the wide receiver one, which he'll be on the back end of that most likely. But it's not Texas. I mean, it's not Houston anymore, and they're not force feeding him the ball as much as we hoped he would. And if they are, it's like we said before, it's too close to the line of scrimmage to mean anything. And it seems like it's a no off season. It's a first year in the system type of thing. It's something will work out next year. And I do think that shoulder injury is really affecting Tyler and his ability to extend play, which I think we'll find a way to get open.
you're right. And congratulations to anybody who is actually playing this week at a game that matters. It's a fantasy football is kind of, especially this year, is a really mysterious thing between the COVID and every player's gotten hurt. I think I saw a stat this week that the top 27 picks or something like that has missed 125 games this year. Like it's a huge number, which just is unbelievable. So if you made it this far, congratulations. You've definitely either drafted phenomenally in a redraft league or you worked the waiver wire really well. Especially when you think the going into the season, the RB1 played 2 games. The RB2, I think, has played 3 games. The tight end 2 has played, I think 3 games, if even that, So these are guys who you were taking in the first, maybe second round, and they've not played any games, basically.
And the wide receiver 1 of Michael Thomas as well.
Oh, yeah, the wide receiver 1. Alvin Kamara has been nothing with Taysom Hill. It's been super weird, and so congratulations if you're playing this week. I want to reiterate what Chris said last week. Know who your favorite, maybe not your favorite player, but the best player on your fantasy team if you win a championship. Figure out who his favorite charity is. Donate. Chris said he donated his favorite or that player's number, so his guy was Todd Gurley. He donated $30 to Todd Gurley's thing. So maybe donate if it's a quarterback or these wide receivers who wear single, the in the teens. Maybe donate how many fantasy points he scores that week, and donate that to his favorite charity. And like I said it on Facebook and last week, if you want to stay local and we've helped you win a fantasy championship, probably not likely. You probably did the opposite of what we said, but
Which is smart.
Which is smart. So if we helped you in that way and you want to stay a little local, Foster's Voice, that's our favorite charity. I would say if you can, I know this is one's a small number, one's a little number. Foster is a huge Chicago Cubs fan. I know he's a fan of Bryant and Rizzo, so maybe $17 or $44 if you're feeling spunky. Donate that to Foster's Voice if we helped you win.
Definitely a good thing to reiterate.
Okay.
Doug trying not to say so. Doug's brain almost exploded trying not to. So.
Is that, you want to call that the first segment then?
Yeah, it's cool.
All right. See, now I locked up trying not to say so. Chris, I'm never going to forgive you. If you weren't here last week, was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Last week.
It was last week. Chris pointed out that I have a tick that when I go to do a transition, I say the word so. And now I can't. Now it's messed me up so bad. It's affecting my job because I do the same thing at my job too. As I use that as the transition word there. And so now my brain's all messed up because it wants to transition to something else. And I'm trying to let it do that. It's not good. It's not good.
It's phenomenal for the rest of us.
I know. I'm just like, got this tick that I just can't get past. Let's jump to commercial. On the other side of that, we will talk some quarterback rankings. We'll talk Jalen Hurts' debut. And we'll get through all of the stuff for the signal callers. Sunday is still the best day at Kavanaugh's Hilltop Bar and Grill. While your favorite jamokes aren't on the deck talking fantasy football, they're still one of the best places in the Quad Cities for your football viewing pleasures. Their back deck is ready for late season football. The sides are up and the heat is on to protect you from Mother Nature, where you can enjoy the Bears, Packers, and any of your favorite out-of-market teams on their 10-foot screen. If outside isn't your thing, you can head into their remodeled inside bar area and watch the NFL Sunday Ticket on their numerous screens and play their adult video games. I hear they have the loosest slots in the Quad Cities. That's Kavanaugh's Hilltop Bar and Grill, 1228 30th Street in Rock Island, the non-bubble home of For Fantasy's Sake. We are no longer a show, but we are still saying frick at For Fantasy's Sake. Frick's Tap, that is. If the Davenport side is more your style for your football watching pleasure, head to Frick's Tap, 1402 West 3rd Street, where they have 20 beers on tap. Beer isn't your scene? That's okay. They have $3 U-Calls during all of the Sunday football games. Frick's has the NFL Sunday Ticket on all 13 TV screens, so don't fret if your team is playing on the West Coast this week. So for Frick's sake, head to Frick's Tap today. I'm done. Come back.
Guess who's back?
Again. I got you.
I figured that might be a little bit before your time there, Michael.
Oh, no. Come on. That's a classic line. I at least know that much.
Classic. He says it's classic. Now I'm really
I don't know.
Children.
I'm almost 20, all right? And by almost, I mean like several months. But
You're the same age as my kids.
that does maybe okay.
Yes, it does.
Fine. Sure. Young.
What year were you born in? I can't do math. So you're born in 01?
Yes.
In what month?
May.
Okay. Crazy.
Yes.
2000.
Yes.
Jeez.
Someday, don't worry, D. Someday we'll be doing this, and then we'll have hired somebody else who's Harper's age, and then we'll be like, oh my God, we're officially old.
I was gonna say that, I'm sure people said that about me on the internet when I was that age, but except there was no internet when I was 19, so that's not true. But there's definitely no internet when you were 19.
Oh God, no. I was telling Joe and Nan a story yesterday about how me and my best friend had went in high school. We had went to this place out in Geneseo, and then on the way back we had gotten lost, and it's in the dark, and it's before cell phones and internet, so we were like literally just in this old car going through cornfields trying to find our way home in the dark where we had never been before. Good times.
I always feel like we'll get off the TED Talk here in a minute, but I always feel like the term best friend is super weird. Like I got a lot of friends, but this one's my best friend.
Yes.
Like I always feel like it's just like it blows my mind. That phrasing just blows my mind.
Partner in crime is usually how I refer to him. Because usually when we were in school, when one of us was in trouble, usually the other one was also involved.
You in trouble? I figured you were just like, you were the one getting stuffed in lockers, Doug.
No.
He was doing the stuffing.
That's right. Okay. Out in Philly land, there is a new quarterback on the scene. In one Mr. Jalen Hurts. What do you expect to see out of him today? Because he's looked all right. Are you planning on getting Bama Jalen Hurts? Are you planning on getting Oklahoma Jalen Hurts? What are we expecting?
If you mean the Bama Jalen Hurts, you realize I don't think I was going to say that you realize there's a better option on the bench, but I don't think that's the case here. I would temper your expectations against New Orleans. They've been one of the better defenses. Somebody out there has made the joke that New Orleans gets to play another wide receiver playing quarterback again, but I won't make that joke because I actually like Jalen Hurts and I'm glad he's starting. But this is kind of a no-win situation for him because I don't expect him to be great. And I just think this might end up with people clamoring and saying, we benched Carson Wentz for this. And that's a lot of money on the bench for Carson Wentz. So for them to say, they even came out and said, oh, we plan on keeping him long-term. For what? Like, you already are expressing that you feel like that Jalen Hurts is better than Carson Wentz. So you're willing to pay him all this money to not play? I don't really understand it.
I guess you view it as things aren't going to magically change for Carson Wentz, at least this season. Like he needs a lot of help around him at the minimum if you're even convinced that he's the answer. So if that's not going to change, let's see what Hurts can do with the same situation. And I think you're right. He's gonna run into a buzzsaw in New Orleans. That defense is lights out recently. It's gonna stay lights out. I wasn't the biggest Jalen Hurts fan. I'd call him a running back over a wide receiver. But I mean, he made some plays last week that opened my eyes. I mean, that touchdown throw he made was unreal. That was a great play. But I don't think it's going to be able to happen this week. And I think they're doing the right thing letting it ride out because I don't think it's fair to judge him based off, a throw-in start last week and New Orleans this week. And he gets the Cardinals next week, which I think could be a big smash play if I want to hold them. If you survive this week in the playoffs, good, best of luck. But it's not going to be pretty. Like New Orleans is the top defense on DraftKings for a reason. It's the top defensive play on the week potentially. The defense is too good for Jalen Hurts as a rookie, as for most rookie quarterbacks, honestly, to overcome.
Yeah, it'll be definitely an interesting game for sure.
That's DJ's way of saying he wasn't paying attention.
Here's my question, Doug.
Yes.
Carson Wentz, 2021 Chicago Bears starting quarterback.
Oh, God.
Can't be any worse. That's the bar that Chicago has set at quarterback play is it can't be any worse.
I just want someone who can get Darnell Mooney the ball. That's all I want.
Yeah, that would be nice. We'll see how this will be an interesting offseason, I think. All right, quarterback rankings. Hold up. Did you make these rankings? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm guessing your is number 10, and you're questioning because Patrick Mahomes is not number 1.
Yes.
Okay.
But Aaron Rodgers is number 1, and we know how much you love him.
He is very nice.
I don't have too many problems with this. I mean, obviously, this was made ahead of the Brandon Cooks news, which I think we all kind of expected him to play heading up until morning.
Yeah.
I personally would be docking Sean Watson outside of the top 12 now, but that's ahead of notice. And I think Kyler might be too high. I think I'm a little bit worried about that Giants defense, to be honest. Kyler is, I'm blanking on the number off the top of my head, but I think he's around like 5 rushing attempts a game, or he's rushed like 5 times in the last 3 weeks. And when Kyler hasn't ran, and we're relying on an arm he's ran 5 times in each game for the last 3 weeks, and that's well short of the 11, 14, 10 rushing attempts he's been having. And when you take away that baseline combined with a shoulder that's clearly not 100%, I think Bradbury can limit Hopkins enough, to be honest. And I'm not trusting Christian Kirk or Larry Fitzgerald off the COVID list to make a difference.
I like Kingsbury a little bit more than you guys do. And I think we see a little bit of changing the game plan a little bit more. I think that when somebody puts it on Twitter that your guy is only running 7-yard routes, I think they might bump it up to 8 yards this week. So,
ooh, I hope so. I like Kingsbury. I've just been disappointed with kind of what's happened this year. Like I think in going forward, I think he's still the answer, but I don't have an excuse for why Hopkins is running 6 yards a route, 7 yards a route.
So to answer any questions, Jalen Hurts, my number 18 quarterback, and his teammate from Alabama, Tua Tagovailoa, number 19.
Because DJ cannot make a goddamn decision.
I think that I kind of agree with you on the Watson thing. I think I would drop him out to maybe 14, bump Tannehill up to 12, and Cousins up to 13.
I, as the Bears fan, have major problems with Trubisky at 17 being that high.
I don't mind it. Houston is just bad. Michigan throw 3 picks and still throw 2 touchdowns and rush for 1 or something. Like, it's still in the realm of possibility.
I suppose
he does against Detroit once a year normally, and Houston's just as bad at defense.
Facts. I'm very upset last week that Trubisky didn't get picked off because I had the over on half of an interception.
I can't believe that didn't hit.
Yeah, me either.
I think Tua could be a surprising start this week when they lean on that passing game early, which they haven't had to do in forever with Tua. I think we see like a lot of attempts, and you could say he's going to throw a lot of picks off of it, but it's a big game for them.
You don't think that even with not having their number 1 or number 2 running backs, you don't think that they'll still try to take the air out of the ball?
No, I think I don't think they're. I think they're just going to abandon the run game. I mean, I think they're going to try. But I think they're going to drop it real quick. So I trust that. I think it'll be a big week for Mike Gesicki, and I hate saying that because every single time I do, he's going to drop 0. But it sets up the game script's there. I think Tua's legit. Miami's rolling. It's possible.
Interesting.
Really,
what will Nick Gesicki do this week?
Mick Gesicki will go for 4 touchdowns.
Yes.
Mike Gesicki is the question mark every single time.
You guys are the worst.
Just because Chris isn't here doesn't mean that you're not going to take. Not going
No,
to.
no. I deserve the flack on Mick Gesicki. I deserve it. I'll wear it.
Also, Derek Carr is still too high in my eyes, but that's fine. We're not even talking. I mean, we're in back of the list, but
yeah, you're in back of the list. Maybe not even starting them in a super flex league
against Indianapolis. I will not. I don't care. I'll play.
I still think he's got a potential to find a couple deep passes.
Derek Carr.
Yeah, he's like the 4th most accurate deep ball passer in the league.
I know he can throw deep. He just doesn't. He does it, but like once a game. I have a long-standing vendetta against Derek Carr, but
are you jealous of his eyebrows?
No. 3 years ago,
Skyliner.
3 years ago, I flexed him on Thursday night against the 49ers before they were anywhere near a good defense, or 4 years ago maybe, and over Big Ben on the road against Baltimore with the home road splits that Big Ben always had against Baltimore.
So you're holding a grudge on a guy for something you did before you could even drive?
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I had a permit, but yeah, no. I lost that week against a kid that I hate, and then I end up losing a playoff spot to the kid that I hate because I lost to him on that week. I lost by half a game or by a game on the season. So
that's fair. That's fair. I still hate Josh Freeman, so
I can't even.
Things we've learned this week. Michael holds grudges.
Yeah, no, I do. Against Derek Carr, I most certainly do.
That's okay. I come from a long line of grudge holders as well. Okay. That'll take us to the end of this segment, which was quite entertaining. On the other side of this, we will deal with the rest of the rankings, though we'll probably spill over like we always do because we get stuck on something. And then on the other side of that will be Michael's time to shine with the DFS. Located in the Belgium neighborhood of 7th Street in Moline, Clint's Draft House Pizza and Grill is home to some of the Quad City's best food and drink specials. On Sundays, there's no better place to be. Clint's is serving up 75-cent wings and $4 Bloody Marys all day. And your favorite team playing in those out-of-market games? You'll never miss a second of the action on one of their 10 screens with NFL Sunday Ticket. And after you've had your wing and bloody fix, finish your football watching experience off with one of their famous Quad City style pizzas. And folks, they know pizza. They've been spinning QC style pies for the last 22 years. So make Clint's part of your Sunday football routine. Clint's Draft House Pizza and Grill, 7th Street in Moline.
Doug, why did you die mid-sentence?
Because the last week when you guys were talking about something about me losing it, getting the giggles, reading one of these, and that's just stuck in my head now. You two have ruined me about how I talk, and now I'm just a blathering idiot.
Instead of just a regular idiot?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Who doesn't need a solid handcuff on their fantasy squad? Grab a bite to eat. Dang it, DJ. Grab a bite to eat at Clint's Draft House while watching the noon games, then head on over across the Moline Rock Island border to the tap room for some libations during the 3 o'clock games. Every Sunday is fun day at the corner with $3 tall boys, Bloody Marys, Jack Daniels, and $2 PBR drafts. Head to the corner tap, 4018 14th Avenue in Rock Island, and get into the end zone. Rock River Fitness, located at 3416 Blackhawk Road in Rock Island, offers a wide variety of classes starting as low as just $8 per class and just $10 for specialty classes. With classes that include different yoga, Zumba, cardio, fusion, and strength training. Rock River Fitness has a little something for everyone and at a crazy affordable rate. Find them on Facebook, the MindBody app, or visit their website, rockriverfitness.com, and start planning your next fitness class. Rock River Fitness, where fitness is fun. We're gonna have to get back all of our sponsor money this week.
Hey, couple Shefty bombs. DeAndre Swift had his COVID test come back invalid today, and then they reran it and it was negative, so he's clear to play. But the big news is the Tampa Bay Bucks have made Leonard Fournette a healthy inactive today.
He was my cold pick this week.
Huh?
He was my cold pick on DFS this week.
So Leonard Fournette will not play.
And let me get Rojo into my lineup. Oh wow, that's surprising.
So when you see Leonard Fournette on this third slide of my running backs, keep in mind we do not pay somebody big money to edit these things for us.
No, we're still gonna make fun of you for it.
If we did, Mick Gesicki would never make the lineup.
The odds are still 60-40 on that, to be quite honest. All right, so Henry, Cook, Eckler, Jones, Robinson.
Mont. Oh man, I wanted
this only has 11 because when I made the slides, Christian McCaffrey was RB1, and obviously since he's not playing, he can't be RB1.
I guess I would probably take Robinson and Kamara and slide them down between Swift and Montgomery.
I'd slide Kamara down below. Maybe get Swift up a little bit higher because I'm very high on Swift this week. But I think Robinson's fine. He's catching a lot of balls for some. It's just the Leonard Fournette role for him. I think he's a good running back. I don't think he's a special running back, but he just gets so much work regardless of game skill. Look at him, you don't need game skill.
Did you just enter a tunnel, Michael?
That wasn't me, was it?
I don't know.
It sounded like a printer was going.
And we have Myles Gaskin at the top of this, obviously, read out.
Drake, Gibson, Taylor, Rojo. Rojo's obviously would go up quite a bit.
Right, yeah, he would move up a tad.
Connor, CEH. Why you got your boy CEH so low?
Dude, I don't know if I was a CE. I am a CEH owner, but I don't know that if I was a CEH owner that I would be very happy. And if I had somebody else to play in over him, I would consider it because dude was active last week. And so if you're in the playoffs after playing him last week, you're welcome, I guess would be the words, because dude stood on the sidelines. I don't get it. I really do not get why the Chiefs even dressed a guy without the intentions of playing him. You can play, and I don't want to hear the, oh, he was our emergency running back. You have Tyreek Hill and Mecole Hardman, for God's sakes, okay? They can be your emergency running backs. Yeah, Jordan, CH is pissing everybody off in a few leagues.
Man, I can't help but feel like I can't play Miles Sanders this week. I can't call him an RB2. I told I forget who it was, but a friend of mine was asking like Miles Sanders or someone that like I would never normally consider. I can't play Sanders.
Interesting.
It's New Orleans. It's such a tough matchup, and I'm still holding on a little bit of hope that Jalen Hurts with maybe some RPOs with his rushing ability opens up some lanes. But I can't imagine it happens against New Orleans.
I'm actually intrigued by Miles Sanders this week, so
I'm intrigued because I want to see him with Hurts, but oh man, it hurts me because he's so talented. But Doug Peterson refuses. Doug Peterson needs to go. I can't go off on a tangent about that.
I'm telling you, you weren't on the show for this, so you probably, I don't know if you were watching. I think that the Super Bowl was a fluke, and that Andy Reid's coaching tree is actually not that good.
I think Frank Reich had a bigger hand in that than we ever give him credit for. Because the Colts are a ridiculously well-coached team.
Yeah, they are.
That is Frank Reich. That was not Doug Peterson. And Doug Peterson has done nothing but to destroy this team since. And some really bad contracts that they've built out as well.
I was really sad that Myles Gaskin makes my graphic, and then he gets the COVID. I think this is going to be a huge week out of him.
Yeah.
What's he pointing at?
What was that?
What's he pointing at?
He's pointing at Wayne Gallman. He thinks Wayne Gallman's a good start this week.
Yeah.
So while we're on the Myles Gaskin conversation, Michael, who's your? I saw you had a tweet. So who do you think is the guy to own in Miami? And are you willing to start anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My friends text me all the time about fantasy football, and I got immediately 7 texts as soon as Myles Gaskin. So everyone wanted to know. There's speculation on Twitter. What's going to happen? I think DeAndre Washington has been a bit inactive with the hamstring injury. He's active. He's off the injury report. I think Washington gets the majority of carries, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of them. I really do think that they're going to have to drop the running game. I don't think they stay in this game, or I think Chiefs take an early lead. And then as for passing work, I don't think that's Washington. I think that's going to be a combination of Malcolm Perry, who'll probably line up in the slot more, and either Patrick Laird or Lynn Bowden, maybe. There's so many skill sets in this backfield that you cannot be relied to trust on it. You can try to play Washington and guess that he gets in the end zone as the biggest back on the team, as the guy who will most likely have the most carries. But it's the best of a bad situation, and by bad I mean terrible. So
let's not forget DeAndre Washington revenge game.
Yeah, no, I'll forget that. But what's made Gaskin a very valuable guy? Like, yeah, he's got some carries and occasionally gets in the end zone, but he also gets those 5-6 targets a game on top of that.
Right.
We're splitting that up where Washington is not getting those 5 or 6 targets. We're counting him getting the end zone. I don't want to take that bet. I think if he's not getting the passing work, it's just a volume thing, then I don't think there's enough to go around.
I think the big thing that we have to mention about Gaskin is owners are not only going to be without him this week, likely for a semis matchup next week. So with that positive COVID test.
It's a late addition to the list as well. So yeah, I'd expect next week as well. It's brutal. Todd Gurley is too low.
David Johnson's out.
David Johnson's out now. Yeah. Fournette obviously not in.
You normally have Kareem stuck right next to Chubb. Yeah.
Yeah, not this week.
Okay.
We had a little come to Jesus hate fest for Kareem Hunt on Wednesday. Michael and I did.
Okay.
I just dislike Kareem Hunt for a lot of reasons, but that's all because I'm such a Nick Chubb fan and dynasty owner. So yeah,
Julio Jones is becoming the new Kenny Galladay. I don't know why I bother putting him on the graphics.
Kenny Galladay also out this week.
Yes, Kenny Galladay also out this week, and also water is wet. Doug, is this respectful enough of Justin Jefferson in your opinion?
Yes.
My question is who's going to play the slot for Minnesota, because the slot receivers have torn up Tampa Bay. So
I imagine that's stealing, right? I mean, they've kind of I think they moved them all around, but I think
So you still got Nuke at 8 or 7?
Yeah, he would be 7.
Jordan says it's going to be BB in the slot.
Yeah, we're not starting Chad Beebe. I'm sorry. Even if he's in the slot and tearing up the DBs, I'm not starting Chad Beebe.
Yeah, the thing about teams is when you have a clear weakness, you will, even if your player doesn't always, maybe you see Chad Beebe out there some weeks, if you have Adam Thielen, you will move him into the slot to take advantage of that weakness.
Maybe we'll see Justin Jefferson have a Tyreek Hill week. That'd be swell.
Honestly, I would play him over DeAndre Hopkins. And you're still playing DeAndre Hopkins, still within the top 12, but I'm kind of all in on Justin Jefferson. Really good.
Deontay Johnson should probably be higher.
Well, he's 12, so there you go. He is higher. Suck it, Doug. I even put AJ Brown was limited this week, but it appears he'll play. I think that I'd be willing. Even Robbie Anderson could have a big game with no DJ Moore.
Yeah, and no AJ Boye. AJ Boye also suspended now.
Right, yeah.
Secondary. I can't argue with this. Devontae Parker has been a weird person. 21, right? But
and I'm wondering if his speed is going to be a tough matchup for the Chiefs, and he ends up having a top 12 game.
Also, a little tidbit right now with Fournette inactive, Keyshawn Vaughn is active.
Interesting.
Week 8.
Interesting. And 25 through 36, your boy Corey Davis.
Too low. I was going to say something. Corey Davis is going to be another ridiculous play this week. I really hope so. At least
I think you could bump up QT with no Cooks.
And obviously Crowder's expected to miss, or if Crowder could also be active as an emergence guy, based on what I saw this morning from Rich Meany, who covers the Jets. So if Crowder's active, you're still not playing him. Do not play him. He might be an emergency guy. It's not safe. Don't stay away.
It's not safe. All right, tight ends.
What to do with Evan Ingram?
Hey, Mike Gesicki made the list.
Good for him. I saw that Tanyan wasn't playing.
I think he's out there.
You haven't seen anything about Tanya in a couple weeks of being hurt.
All right, let me Google that for you. Jonnu Smith. Michael, explain Jonnu Smith to me, because I want to love him, but then he sucks. And then he's got a good matchup, and today he'll score 4 points.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to buy into him, at least it's tight end. So really, once you get beyond that top 6, you're really taking that deep shot. And I like to play the matchups. And Jacksonville has allowed a ridiculous amount of touchdowns to tight ends. Jonnu Smith will be used in the red zone. That happens. And while this is going to be a Derrick Henry day because it's against Jacksonville, the Jaguars allow 0.8 touchdowns a game. That's almost a full touchdown a game. So that's like a 6.4 you're offering, and it's just tough because he hasn't been good since AJ Brown comes back, and that's the thing is they haven't even tried to incorporate him in the offense. So that's concerning. But once you get to that Dalton Schultz, Hayden Hurst, even Logan Thomas in that matchup, I know he went off last week. I'm gonna play Jonnu Smith over all those guys. And just hope he gets in the end zone. Even if it's a freaking end-around sweep to Jonnu Smith, like I do on the goal line. But he finds a way to get in. He's off the injury report. So
Robert Tiny, now is he playing this week? DraftKings says to play him confidently as your tight end 1.
he does score touchdowns.
He does.
Oh, Zach Ertz. That's sad to see. I also think Cole Kmet's a nice little sleeper pick this week. I know tight end 18 is about where I'd put him, but I mean he's starting to get more involved. Houston is just terrible, and yeah, I mean, nice little graphic of him. So there's a world this could be the breakout.
Somewhere, Mr. Wrangle's celebrating because there's 3 Golden Domer Notre Dame guys on this page. So
They know how to produce a tight end.
Yep.
tight end U, which is not the University of Iowa. Doug takes to the bridge.
Doug, lost or confused? Okay. Durham Remodeling has been serving the Quad Cities area since 1973. With nearly 50 years of excellence on their track record, you'll see why it's so easy to trust their experts when it comes to all your home improvement projects. Durham Remodeling's work is 100% guaranteed, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best service around. Call 309-786-6715 for all your roofing, siding, flooring, windows, and painting needs. That's Durham Remodeling, 309-786-6715. Hate mowing? We know Deej does. Need your lawn or business landscaped? Need your grass aerated or fertilized before the ground freezes? Too late for that. Need anything else yard related? Yard Barbers LLC is your hookup. And they aren't just good for your summertime yard blues. They work all year long, and you can get signed up for winter services for that annoying to do snow removal like what came down on us yesterday and I'm still salty about. Find Yard Barbers on Facebook at Yard Barbers LLC, send them an email at yardbarbersqc@gmail.com, or shoot them a text at 309-235-1595. Hey, I made it through without giggling.
So Doug, this probably doesn't affect a large number of our viewers, but according to Facebook, no 4, 6, 8, or 18 for DirecTV viewers. So no football games for DirecTV viewers today.
No
local channels.
that's not gonna go over well.
Fire up your antenna if you're a DirecTV subscriber.
That somebody's getting a nasty phone call.
Oh yeah, lots of nasty phone calls.
Would not want to be the person working customer service today. We did running back, yeah.
What?
I thought we hadn't done all of the ranks, but I guess we did.
We did.
All right. So it's Michael's time to shine.
All right. DFS time.
According to Jordan, they actually have gotten back their local channels now. So there's still no 8 because there's a discrepancy between DirecTV and WQAD, but screw them. All right, Michael, DFS us, bro.
Okay, so DFS this week, we got a lot of things to choose from. There's a lot of good options at QB this week. I choose to lean towards Justin Herbert, who I seem to write about Herbert every single week because his ownership projection is around 4 to 7% every single week, and it's way too low for what he can be. I didn't choose him last week for whatever's working against the Patriots, but he goes against Atlanta now, who has Atlanta has made some strides. All right, they've since week 8 they've allowed the second least amount of points to running back, but they're still getting gouged in the secondary. They're still in the bottom half in that same span. And Herbert's going to bounce back. He's starting to feel that Justin Jefferson heat for the Offensive Rookie of the Year race. And Atlanta can still put up points against a ridiculously weak Chargers defense. So Herbert's set up for success. He's a $6,800 play on DraftKings. It's a little bit expensive, but he's a nice stack with a deep shot in Mike Williams if you want to do that. You could even stack him with Austin Eckler, who will catch plenty of passes. Or obviously you could play him with Keenan Allen, which I'm choosing to do this week despite the expensive play and I'm sure a high ownership for Allen. At running back, who I'm certain will shoot up in projection, DeAndre Swift is only projected to be used in 4% of lineups, which I'm sure will shoot up with him now officially active. But I expect him to be active all week. Goes against Green Bay, who cannot stop the run at all. It's terrible. So if you can't do that, then you're going to be pounding Swift. The Lions have desperately missed him all week, for the last few weeks. Played 73% of snaps last time we saw him. Green Bay allowed the fourth most fantasy points for running backs. They got no Kenny Galladay. Swift will be used in the red zone. And even if they fall behind, which they will because they're the Lions, he's going to catch passes. He's a safe play, but with a ridiculously high ceiling, as we put in our rankings earlier. Wide receiver, there's a lot of names to like, as always, a lot of deep shots. Lazard, I've been talking about for a few weeks. I think this is the week the snaps finally start to see normal. Once again, against Detroit, this is the play it back type of thing, where I think Swift is good. I think Swift's going to have a good day, and I think it's because Alan Lazard gets them there on the other side. So we all know Detroit's secondary is very susceptible to the passing game. The Lions allow the 8th most fantasy points to wide receivers. We haven't seen that ceiling since week 3, but he does have it. He can score multi-touchdown games. He can catch deep balls. And we all know Marquez Valdes-Scantling is not the answer. Plus, it was Alan Lazard's birthday on Friday. So, birthday game. Why not? Chase that narrative. Couple of guys I'm cold on. Rashad Perriman. All right. So, I originally wrote a full paragraph about how I like Rashad Perriman this week. And then I started doing a little bit deeper research after writing it. And I no longer like Rashad Perriman. He hasn't performed with Darnold at QB, with or without Crowder, so that hasn't made a difference. And we've also seen plenty of Rashad Perriman without Denzel Mims, who missed the first half of the year. So Perriman has played well considering what we expected, but he's played well with Joe Flacco, who likes to throw deep, and we haven't seen it. So Seattle allows 300 yards passing. He'll probably catch a few balls, but with Darnold, he's 3 catches for 17, 2 for 12, 2 for 27, 4 for 79, and 1 for 22. He hasn't scored with Darnold. Seattle's defense has looked better in recent weeks. I don't think that's going to happen. And just to wrap it up, quick bang of some tournament plays that are, for some reason, low ownership, somewhat lower prices. Todd Gurley against the Chargers. They're saying he's going to get his full workload back. Chargers just allowed 165 yards and, more importantly, 2 scores for the Patriots. I think people are very burned by Gurley. So I think that ownership will stay low. And at a cheap price, $4,800 for a running back is pretty cheap. I think that's a good play. Tim Patrick, $4,200. He's been underrated all season. Carolina is a decent defense despite their reputation. But Tim Patrick has the trust of Drew Lock, and I think it's going to be a close game. He's seen 6 or more targets in all but 1 game since week 6 to week 11, which that's because I took out the week 12 without the quarterback, and last week he had 2 scores against KC. And tight end pick Jordan Akins. That was before the Brandon Cooks news. I still think Jordan Akins was going to take that Will Fuller role. And it was tough last week against the Colts. It's easier this week against Chicago. I think that's $2,900. That's a smart play. These guys are all on the lower side of ownership, around 4% max for those final 3 guys. Yeah, I think those are the guys that will get you some money this week.
We have a question. What are your thoughts on T.Y. Hilton in DFS?
So T.Y. Hilton's been surging, right? So I do think he's a solid play. He's projected to be 7% owned for DraftKings, that doesn't scare me away. I think you definitely play him. He's definitely a solid play. That's $5,100. That's really not too bad for one of those mid-level guys. He's seen the ceiling. He's performed. He's hit that bar. I think you definitely rock him out there. I tend to lean away given how much I think the Colts will pound the rock there against Vegas, who just got ran over by Ty Johnson and the Jets. So it's less volume, so you're gonna have to make more out of less, which T.Y. Hilton has done in his career, but it's been hit or miss. But that's DFS for you. So I think you definitely lock him in there.
Who's your dart throw today?
Dart throw. I refuse to get attached to Malcolm Perry again, although I do think he takes a little step there again. But taking that out, honestly, it's Jonnu Smith. It's not as much of a dart throw, but he's only projected to be owned in 1.5% of leagues. It's such a good matchup. I feel like there's a world that happens. And to go super deep, I had a wide receiver in mind. I mean, you could line up Braxton Berrios because Crowder. I expect Crowder to be out or emergency. We see Braxton Berrios in the slot. I don't think Perryman gets it done with Darnold. He throws it close to the line, and close to the line means slot receiver Berrios. So I'm not playing him because I do think he has a cap ceiling in a Jets offense, but he can easily be lined up for 6 or 7 catches. And if he can do more with that, 6 or 7 catches is a nice number to work with. And if you can get that, then you trust the player to do more with that, maybe get in the end zone. There's a lot to like about Berrios. I'm sure I'm a finite play this week. He's only projected to be owned in 1.2% of leagues, $3,000. That would be a nice little. All right, well.
And is Herbert and Williams your stack this week?
Herbert and Williams was my stack since I've tilted to Keenan Allen because it annoys me because Keenan Allen obviously is much more owned, and Mike Williams. Mike Williams is a 4% play. Keenan Allen's a 12 projected, and those projections are always ever sliding. I just think Herbert throws too many deep balls to too many different players for me to lock in Mike Will right now. And you could play Mike Will. You could definitely take that shot. I found the money to just pay for Keenan Allen, who's catching 15 balls a game.
I think looking at it this morning, I think that unless you want to bounce down to Cousins and Jefferson, which I think is very volatile, stack with Cousin on the Cousins side, Herbert and Allen or Williams makes the most sense because you're really cash strapped to go Mahomes and Hill or Kelsey or Rodgers and Devontae Adams. You would have to be very creative with the rest of your lineup. So I think that unless you're going to go Cousins, Jefferson / Thielen or Herbert and Allen / Williams, you're not really stacking. Or I think we talked about this before. So if are you starting anybody in Atlanta? Are you bringing it back anyway?
I'm scared of Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's actually my cold pick this week because I don't think he can play well with Julio Jones. The player I'm playing is Todd Gurley. I think Todd Gurley can get it done against the Chargers. He cannot stop really anything, but especially not the run. I mean, the Patriots are not a great team, but they just ran them over for 165 and 2. So I think Gurley is expected to take his role back, and who knows if he can, but it's easy to forget the early season production he had. And I think he can go back to that. It's a 1-year deal. I expect them to let him walk. There's no reason for them not to give him 18 to 20 carries and just ride him out. And yeah. So there was one other thing I was going to say, and I'm blanking, but because people are also really burned by Gurley last week. He ripped owners a new one for the last 2 weeks. That could be a really low play, and that's where I tend to lean.
So, Dougie, you want to take us to the bridge?
No.
All right.
Football season is just underway, and if you spend Sundays, well, actually, it's almost done. But playoff season is just underway, and if you spend Sundays watching football anywhere but Vance Pizza Pub and Grill, you've been doing it wrong. Vance Pizza Pub and Grill, 3333 North Harrison Street in Davenport, is the best place to catch all of your favorite games, and there's still time to make it part of your Sunday routine. Start your meal off with their famous McGuire's original nachos or bready nuggets, then ask about one of their original QC-style pizzas, or be your own quarterback and call an audible and create your own. The Vance crew will be sure that your play call hits pay dirt every time. Vance Pizza Pub and Grill, 3333 North Harrison Street in Davenport. Come get served. Located in the Belgian neighborhood of 7th Street in Moline, Clint's Draft House Pizza and Grill is home to some of the Quad City's best food and drink specials. On Sundays, there's no better place to be. Clint is serving up 75-cent wings and $4 Bloody Marys all day. And your favorite team playing in those out-of-market games? You'll never miss a second of the action on one of their 10 screens with NFL Sunday Ticket. And after you've had your wing and bloody fix, finish your football watching experience off with one of their famous Quad City-style pizzas. And folks, they know pizza. They've been spinning QC-style pies for the last 22 years. So make Clint's part of your Sunday football routine. Clint's Draft House Pizza and Grill, 7th Street in Moline.
I partook in a Clint's Draft House pizza for dinner one day this week, and it was delicious. Got the chicken Alfredo pizza.
Ooh, nice.
Chicken Alfredo is terrific.
I'm not sure that we can trust Michael's pizza takes, considering that he's a New Yorker.
Right. Okay. First of all, there shouldn't be a fight between you guys and us. We should be bonding over everyone else. That is terrible. That's what it should be. All right. I go to college in Connecticut, and I have to deal with people who are like, "This is the best cheese I've ever had," and I'm just sitting quietly in the corner, like cursing underneath my breath. So we both know pizza, different types of pizza, but we both know it.
I think we just need to get you to the Quad Cities after the COVID's done, so you can experience. Because Doug and I were discussing this a few weeks ago. In lieu of gift cards, we wanted to send you guys a Quad Cities care package, but in order to do that, it would have cost us a lot more money than we possess, because we have this place called Whitey's that does ice cream, and it's just about
killer.
It's killer, dude. And it's like, you know how Dairy Queen flips your shake upside or your Blizzard upside? They do that there, but like, it's so much better. It's so good.
So much better.
And I believe that, like, I overrate a lot of things, and Whitey's is not one of those. You know, so like we have Quad City style pizza, we have Whitey's, and we have taco pizza. And it sounds obscure, but
I'll trust you. I like specials. One of my favorite slices right around the corner, Pizzaiola, barbecue chicken slice. It's really, really good.
So we need to maybe after the COVID stuff's over and
change pies.
Well, you can find a cheap flight into Moline or something and come hang out for a weekend, go to a baseball game.
Yeah.
If I ever get my spring break back, then I'll definitely.
Our baseball stadium has fantastic views.
Right on the Mississippi.
Yeah, right on the Mississippi River. It's fantastic. It's got a Ferris wheel in left field. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
On the calendar. Yeah, it's on there.
Cool. What are we talking about now? Oh, the Inactives. Yes, that'd be good to know, wouldn't it? All right. Let's see what we got. I don't know who played. Who did anybody play Thursday? Who's the Thursday night game?
Patriots and Rams.
Patriots, Rams. All right. I'll do my best to remember that as we go through here, because that's towards the bottom of the list. Okay. So, damn it. For Arizona, no Eno Benjamin, no Brett Hundley, no Andy Isabella. Those guys are all out this week.
Andy Isabella, it's kind of a big out for Deshaun Watson. He's kind of stepped up in the game, but getting
for who?
For Arizona.
You said for Deshaun Watson.
Oh, sorry. Obviously my brain's a little muddled right now. No, he's been big with Fitzy out, but I know with Fitzy coming back this week, he might have gone to the wayside anyway.
All right, for Carolina, no Will Greer, obviously no Christian McCaffrey. Those are the two big names on the offensive side over there.
DJ Moore on the COVID list.
Okay. For the Bears, actually no offensive players, but no Buster Screen, so the defense will actually be better this week. For the Bengals, a kicker, a center, 2 guards, and a safety. So, again, no skill people there. Obviously, you're still without Joe Burrow.
Which means T. Higgins will be active. He was a little gimpy with the hammy.
For the Cowboys, no Ben DiNucci, no Malik Turner.
Which means Zeke, who had a calf bruise that he picked up against Baltimore on Tuesday, means he'll be in.
For the Broncos, no Garrett Bowles, their left tackle. No Tyree Cleveland. That is it on the offensive side. That's important. For Houston, we talked about no Brandon Cooks, no Pharaoh Brown, and then obviously Josh McCown is still on his couch.
Which means officially Kiki QT is in.
For the Jags, no Tyler Davis, no Jake Luton. That is it on the offensive side. For the Chiefs, no Ricky Seals-Jones, no Kalen Saunders, and they says they cut some crappy quarterback with the initials of PM. Don't know who that guy was. He wasn't very good anyway. All right, Rams played Thursday. I remember that. Dolphins, no Salvon Ahmed, no Chandler Cox, no Eric Flowers. That's the big names for the Dolphins.
And obviously no Gaskin.
Yeah, no Gaskins.
And Matt Breida is still on the COVID list as well.
Yeah. So they're down to, like we said, Lynn Bowden, DeAndre Washington, and Malcolm Perry.
If you count Malcolm Perry, is still a running back, which
Yeah.
I don't know what he is at this point.
For the Vikings, no Eric Kendricks. I think he's been out most of the year. No Alexander Madison, so they better cross their fingers that Dalvin doesn't get hurt. No KJ Osborne. No Kyle Rudolph.
Yeah, Kyle Rudolph was doubtful coming in. They will get Irv Smith back. So, no former Golden Domer tight ends there for Mr. Rangel.
He had like a 6-year streak going of Kyle Rudolph not missing in games. So I feel
Really?
I know he tried to get out there. I think the last game he missed was like in 2014, which
That's
2020 feels like a lifetime ago.
the second and third longest active streaks are both by the wayside then, because with Fitzy missing and then Rudolph. So Phillip Rivers is the only real long streak active right now.
Dang.
93 straight regular season games, 98 straight if you have the 5 playoff games.
Interesting.
For the Giants, no Dante Pettis, and that's it. For the Bucks, we talked about Fournette, and no Tanner Hudson. That's pretty much the big names there. For the Titans, no Darrington Evans.
Yeah.
No Dante Foreman. No Adoree Jackson. And no Kenny Vaccaro.
No Deontay Foreman.
No Deontay Foreman.
Interesting.
Jeremy Nichols.
Yeah. Foreman looked like he was playing pretty well, and he was a guy that a lot of dynasty people were looking at maybe being able to get a contract in the offseason. So that's interesting that he's inactive today.
That's a healthy scratch, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be it. That'd be the list.
Yeah, no real surprises. I guess my big question is what are you trusting at any point that you're going to get Kenny Galladay back if you guys own Kenny Galladay?
I'm desperately hoping I get him back next week, and I'm not counting on it. You can't count on it. You can't expect it. But if you get him back, it's a luxury. So I know my dynasty team is desperately hoping to get a little boost right now from Galladay, who I've been missing all year. But you can't. He started sprinting last Friday, but I mean that he didn't practice this week, right? I don't think he even allowed the limited session again. But I saw something from whoever the interim coach is now. Just forgive me, I can't remember. Who said that he could have practiced today, but like they say that all the time. So I'm counting on him to be back. But if he logs a limited practice and gets active next week, I will take the risk and play him against Tennessee. Hopefully, you survive this week without him. And up until then, you can line up Marvin Jones. But it's ahead of a contract year as well. It'll be very interesting what happens to Kenny Galladay. So I think he stays around, but I don't know. For agent.
We have a college football bomb, Deej, before you go on. The University of Illinois and Lovie Smith have agreed to part ways.
Yay! That is a very good bomb, Doug. I appreciate that bomb.
Come back home, Lovie. Come to Chicago.
You don't want that. Also interesting with the Galladay to keep an eye on for 325 would be Josh Jacobs, and then we're pretty sure DeAndre Swift's going to play, and Matthew Stafford will play in those late games. But keep an eye out before. So what is it? 90 minutes. So 2:00, 3 if you're a weirdo and live on the East Coast. Take a peek at the inactives prior to that. You don't want to have, especially this week, Josh Jacobs in your lineup if he's not playing.
We typically have weirdos all over the place because Linda's she's central, isn't it? I keep thinking she's in Denver, but she's
central.
I don't know about
Bonnie's on the East Coast. I think everybody else is central, except for where's Brendan at? Is he in New York?
Brendan's Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Yeah. So we've got Brendan and Michael and Bonnie on the East Coast, and I think everybody else is central.
What about Dan? Do you know?
Dan's in Chicago area.
Chicago. Okay.
We did add on a couple of new folks this week.
We did
through as well.
We did. We added Brent Monroe, who'll be doing fantasy basketball stuff for us. I don't know where he's from actually, so I'll have to figure out where he's from. And then we added to the Dynasty team that's going to be headed up by me and Michael. We added Matt Seward, and he's from St. Louis. So added another Cardinals fan to the roster.
Wait, I did not know this.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to reject this hire.
You're in charge of the fantasy basketball hires there, Doug.
Okay. The only question I asked them is who's better, Michael or LeBron, and then if they answer that correctly, they're on.
But we are still interested in adding to either team, the Dynasty fantasy football team and the basketball team. Heck, is hockey still a thing? If you're a fantasy hockey writer and you want to throw fantasy hockey on our website, feel free, send us an email. As long as you don't want to talk about kickers and defenses in fantasy football, you're our people. But yeah, send us an email, shoot us a DM on Twitter or Facebook. We are looking to add to the team, and it's an awesome team with a lot of talented people who you can use as resources.
Yes. Enjoy your internet high fives because we don't pay nobody. We wish we could. We honestly, if we could do it, we would, but it's just we're just not there yet.
When I hit the Millie Maker in DraftKings,
I got a nice little $25 gift card. Thank you very much. That's all I need.
Don't spend it all in one place.
I'll try not to. I don't know. Reckless youth spending,
Yeah.
Maybe buy your dad a new picture frame for Sports Illustrated.
Buy yourself some darts.
Yeah, buy yourself some darts, bro. Who has a dartboard and no darts?
I did. It's aesthetic. It looks nice. It's so I can do a dart throw.
Your background does look better than Doug's.
Yeah, it's just the way I have my my camera angled.
Get that. I also still have a poster of Antonio Brown in the other corner. I haven't had the heart to burn, but I've been meaning to for the last.
All right, Doogie, take us to the last break. We'll be back with if you got questions, get them in, and we'll answer them after the break.
Why don't you start with the commercial?
All right, I'll start with the commercial. Hey, Michael, since Chris isn't here, you are obligated to dance as this commercial plays.
Oh, I always. Always a bob.
Okay, now I got to pull myself together now. We are no longer a PG show, but we are still saying frick it for fantasy's sake. Frick's Tap, that is. If the Davenport side is more your style for your football watching pleasure, head to Frick's Tap, 1402 West 3rd Street, where they have 20 beers on tap. Beer isn't your scene? That's okay. They have $3 U-Call-Outs during all of the Sunday football games. Frick's is the NFL Sunday ticket on all 13 of their TV screens, so don't fret if your team is playing on the West Coast this week. So for Frick's sake, head to Frick's Tap today. It's Sunday, the best day of the week here at 4 Fantasy Sake. You know what goes well with a football Sunday? A pulled pork Sunday from the Big Cheese, the official food truck of 4 Fantasy Sake. If you're more into our Wednesday night show, Short Yardage, you might want something lighter as a bedtime snack. So try out their grilled cheese, which is just $5, and then add a slice of ham for another $1 if you're feeling frisky. They travel all throughout the Quad Cities with their menu perfect for lunchtime or dinner time. So give them a follow on Facebook to see where they might be next and try their hamburgers, which you can make a single, a double, or a triple for just $5, $7, or $9. The Big Cheese, bringing you Short Yardage every Wednesday night. Doug might even try and show up this Wednesday because he's been excited. All right. We are at the end of the nonsense.
Oh, it's all nonsense.
I know that. But any other nonsense before we get into the nonsensical nonsense?
Austin Hooper is now not expected to play with a neck injury.
He's not.
And they're gonna
Hooper's not going to play?
No, little last minute thing. Team will monitor it going forward and hope for improvement, but he's not supposed to be out there.
Interesting.
Monday night game against the Ravens, which is already a tough matchup, but if you want to take a look at Harrison Bryant, that's interesting.
I have Hooper in a tight end premium league. Luckily not as my starting tight end, but
Yeah, I just took him out of my rebuild league, but what are you gonna do?
I had Brandon Cooks. I'm glad I went and looked. I had Brandon Cooks in my lineup. That'd have been bad.
I should go through all those. Make sure.
But that would have been profitable for somebody else.
It would have been.
All righty, here we go with your questions. Short list this week. Jordan, I'm deeply disappointed in you. There's only two.
When Jordan only has 2 questions, you know it's a short list.
Dang. All righty. Cousin Bo wants to know in his TD heavy league, pick 2 running backs and 2 flex. So 2 and 2. Josh Jacobs, Ty Johnson, DeAndre Washington, Debo, Kiki Kuti, DeAndre Swift, J.D. McKissick.
So Jacobs and Swift at running back and QT and Debo at flex.
That's a lot of names. Yeah, Jacobs and Swift and McKissick and I want to say Ty Johnson, but I feel like I can't play him over. I don't know. I guess Ty Johnson. I think I'd go Ty Johnson. Hope he catches some passes as well.
I think I agree with DJ. Jacobs, Swift, Debo, and McKissick.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle Karsten wants to know, now that he's down Cooks, Aguilar, AB, or Fournette, so we're going to take that out. So Aguilar or AB in his flex?
Aguilar.
I'm going to go AB. I think AB could have a decent week right now in this matchup against Minnesota.
I agree with Michael.
Jordan's over here humble bragging in the comment section. He has too many buys this week, so he doesn't have a lot of questions.
All right, we're going to mute him. All right. For his leagues that he actually has to start people in, Pick 2 of Gio, Hines, Mostert, Dobbins, or Duke.
I'm picking how many?
2.
Dobbins and Duke.
Oh God, I think I go Gio and Mostert.
Mostert's the one calling my name there. I'm going to go Mostert Dobbins.
The odds Mostert has 2 down weeks in a row. It's pretty low, to be honest. That's kind of how I feel. If Shanahan doesn't tend to mess his running backs up 2 weeks in a row, they tend to make you think that, hey, maybe you should bench Mostert now, and then he goes 15 for 140 and 3. So I'll rock him out there.
And then pick 2 of Hines, Gallman, Dobbins, Gurley. Give me Gurley and Gallman.
Gallman and Dobbins.
I'll go Gallman and Gurley. I've talked about how much I do like Gurley this week. And Gallman, I saw a little tweet. He has the same amount of RB1 games as CEH and Josh Jacobs. So you could read that as a Gallman endorsement, or you could read it as a insult to CEH and Jacobs. But think of it what you will. Gallman's been terrific.
Speaking of CEH, Frank wants to know Ronald Jones, CEH, or James Conner. I got to go Rojo this week with the 4.
Yeah. Too many snaps, locked in, good matchup.
Yeah, I agree, Rojo.
All righty, rapid fires. Here we go. More rushing yards this week. Derrick Henry or James Robinson? Henry.
Yeah.
Top scoring pass catcher in mini Tampa Bay? Jefferson.
Damn it. Godwin.
I'll go. I want to say Jefferson. I kind of also want to say Thielen to break it up. So I'll go Thielen.
Yeah. More receiving yards. Devontae Parker or Tyreek Hill? I guess.
Tyreek.
All right. Top scoring quarterback this week?
Russ.
Herbert. I got to stay for my DFS guys, but I think Herbert could do it.
I will go with my girl Kay Adams' pick of Old Man Brady.
Yeah, I like that.
More receptions, Melvin Gordon or Mike Davis? Davis.
Yeah,
Davis.
More completions, Deshaun Watson or Mitchell Trubisky?
Or what?
You wrote these.
I know.
Completions.
Watson.
Yeah, it has to be Watson. I don't care if he's down a million receivers. I'm not ever going to pick him over should pick Mitch Trubisky over him in a game
I'm going Watson too. I'm just a little leery because he's literally throwing to the punter.
And Jordan Akins.
Yeah. More rushing yards this week, Kyler Murray or Daniel Jones?
Kyler.
I'll go Kyler.
Just because of Michael's stat earlier, I'm going to go Daniel Jones. All right, Zeke, over under 100 yards rushing.
Under.
Yeah, I'll take that 80 range, maybe 60 to 80 range.
All right, who's your top scoring running back of this week?
I find it hard. I have Derrick Henry in my DFS, and it feels terrible, but I can't because he's going to be owned in like 35% of leagues. But I can't take Derrick Henry out right now. It's Jacksonville. He's going to be the number one.
Rojo.
Also a good choice in there. I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to say Chris Carson.
All right.
More fantasy points, Devontae Booker or Jonathan Taylor?
Well, now that Jacobs is probably going to play, it'll definitely be Taylor. When I wrote these, Jacobs was doubtful on the doubtful side of questionable.
I'll take Taylor regardless of Booker, honestly, even if Jacobs is somehow elite inactive.
Yeah. All right. Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf? We know what my answer is.
Metcalf.
I have a Lockett week, man. He's also in my DFS lineup. I think this could be I think my pick for highest of the week, I think it could be Tyler Lockett. He's overdue. He really is.
What's higher? And this is not where I thought this question was going to go. What's higher, Aaron Jones rushing yards or Devontae Adams receiving yards?
I'm kind of curious where you thought that question was going to go.
I thought there was a pot joke coming.
I'll go
Adams.
I'm going to go rushing yards. I'll go Jones.
Receiving.
All right. Top scoring wide receiver this week. I'll stay with Mr. Adams.
I think it should
Justin
be
Jefferson.
I don't mind that. Yeah. Tyler Lockett or Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen being my DFS guy. My gut says Tyler Lockett's going to do something this week. I think the Seahawks will just destroy the Jets this week. But
More fantasy points, Keenan Allen or Calvin Ridley?
Allen.
Yeah, I want to say Ridley, but I don't think realistically that's going to happen. All right. More total yards, Debo or J.D. McKissick? Debo, he's been hot.
I'll go McKissick.
I'll say Debo for yards. I saw a stat, by the way. Debo has more yards after catch than receiving yards. It's almost impossible, but he has that.
More passing yards, Taysom Hill or Jalen Hurts? Hurts all day.
Yeah, Hurts.
Taysom.
Top scoring tight end.
Who's playing the Jets?
Seattle.
What do you want to play, Jacob Hollister? Will this
I'll go Kels.
So shocking.
Hey, last week I was right because you wouldn't allow me to say Kelsey, and I said Waller.
I'll throw
3 choices.
I'll throw Hunter Henry out there. That's another possible stack if you don't want to go the expensive Allen route or the deep shot on Mike Williams. Hunter Henry could be a good play against Atlanta.
Doug, say Mike Gesicki.
I'm going to say Waller. Mick Gesicki's got nothing to do with it. All right. Top scoring pass catcher in Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Diggs, baby.
Deontay Johnson.
Deontay.
Top rusher in Baltimore, Cleveland, Chubb.
Yeah, I'll go.
Robbins.
I'll go Chubb.
Over under 2 Texans possessions before Trubisky over Watson makes Bears fans want to cry. So that's definitely under. So the real question is how early in the broadcast do they bring that up?
Oh, before the game, before kickoff.
A little
Probably
pre comparison.
Let's think about how many times they brought it up when the Chiefs played
Oh my God.
the Bears last year. Like it was in the
kickoff two times during the first drive. Yeah, it was bad.
and then Mahomes rushes for a touchdown and then counts to 10, and it's like, oh, he was the 10th pick, and the Bears traded up to number 2 to get Trubisky.
3 different graphics that comes on the screen throughout the course of the game. Yeah, no, I'll take the under on that.
So bad. All right, and the last one is your favorite Christmas song.
Like White Christmas.
I don't know if I have an answer off the top of my head.
I actually pulled my Christmas playlist, so I make sure I covered them all.
I do like White Christmas too.
So, Michael looks up famous Christmas songs. I'll take this because I have multiple answers.
Okay.
So, technically, because I like offbeat Christmas songs, so technically, probably my favorite Christmas tune is "Mistress for Christmas" by Hailstorm.
Never heard of it.
Oh, I'll send it to you. It's great. Go look it up on Apple Music. It's great. Very hard rock. It's awesome.
Doug, assuming that I have Apple Music.
It's probably on Spotify too. You have an iPhone.
I don't have every Apple thing ever created. Okay, Doug.
I think I got my pick. I think the song that puts me most in the Christmas spirit is it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Fair enough.
I do like Christmas. I do like that, but I don't know.
That's a good one.
Puts me in the mood.
My most recent favorite Christmas song is Spidey Bells from Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, there's a lot of good music in that thing.
Old man Doug.
No, Old Man Doug's pick is Please Come Home for Christmas by Bon Jovi.
Nerd Doug.
Yes, Nerd Doug's appearance. Yes. So that is going to cover all of those.
All right, so White Christmas for me, most wonderful time of the year for Michael, and a bunch of shit nobody's heard for Doug.
You've heard of the Bon Jovi song.
Bunch of shit nobody's heard of for Doug.
I'm going to
Christmas, Baby Please Come Home by U2.
All right, send us home, Jerome.
Who's Jerome?
You are
Oh.
in this example.
All right. 13th, next week's 20th. Okay, so we still have one more show before Christmas. That's what I was trying to math out. How many more shows we've got before Christmas. We will be back on Wednesday night for Short Yardage. I guess I will have to make an appearance this week because I've taken off several weeks. I haven't been for a while, so I'll do my best to show up there. Other than that, we will close it out. Good luck in your playoff situations this week. So, for Michael, for DJ, for Chris, who is not here, I am Doug. We will see y'all next week.